Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Miraculous, episodes 22 through 26. Yeah, you heard that right. We are finishing off season 1 of Miraculous today, and you may be wondering why. Why are we doing this many episodes in one go? And the reason is simply because I want to get this done. I feel like Miraculous is one of those shows we put off a lot. And it's not because I don't like it. It's mostly because I feel like a lot of the episodes are just either too much of the same thing or don't give me enough to make me super invested in it compared to other things. I always want to watch more of the other stuff, but I want to get to this too. And it's like, I just want to make sure we can get to it so we can get onto the other donation rewards that we still have waiting on. So, it's not that I just want to completely rush through it. It's just I want to make sure that we can get on with other stuff, and I want to make sure that we actually get to Miraculous. Like, we actually get to these episodes and all. So yeah, we're going to be finishing out the season. I know pretty much nothing about what's to come. We're just going to kind of have to see how it goes. And hope for the best. Like I said, the series kind of has this issue where it's just very much your kind of monster of the week series where nothing really much happens most of the time. But hopefully we get more on the actual big story going on behind the scenes, or at least something, you know? Something that makes it more interesting. Because it's just like, I just really feel like we need more at this point. We'll continue on and see how it goes, and obviously we're at least finishing season 1. But yeah, not really much else to say because again, the continuing story stuff, the main story stuff that's kind of been in the background hasn't been happening for a while now. Last time all we had was that Kung Fu episode, and it was like ridiculous. So there's not really much else to discuss going into these episodes. We're just gonna kind of have to take it as it goes. Yeah, not much of anything else to say about that. I'm just trying to lengthen this out a little bit, you know. Try to do something more here. But yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. Hopefully this season ends off well. I know that the apparently, from what I was told before, the episode with the guardian of the box or whatever it was, that was supposed to be the finale or something. Or no. The backstory was supposed to be the finale. That's the one that was. The backstory episodes were supposed to be the finale. And for some reason, like when put on Netflix, they were put here or something. But it's like, we'll just see how it ends anyways. Because I think it's actually better that the backstory episodes happened when they did. But that also might make the actual finale to this feel weaker. I don't know. The finale we're getting, at least. We'll see. Either way, we got a bunch of episodes to get to, so we're just going to get into it. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so I want to say right off the bat, that final episode there, honestly, the anti-bug one felt more like an actual season finale. that one did have the final episode did have big lore related stuff. Um, but the only part that actually felt like the finale part was honestly at the very end when she finally met finally for real is meeting the old man and everything. Um, so yeah, it's like definitely a big moment here. But let's talk about each of these episodes. So the first one was Gamer, and this was my least favorite of this set, which is kind of surprising considering I am a gamer and I am really into video games and everything. But I didn't like the motivations. Like the entire thing about Max, I think it was, being so upset by being kicked out of the tournament, fairly, mind you, being his motivation for becoming for becoming a Kubentai felt very weak and very childish. Like, don't get me wrong, I've gotten upset at losing at games before, but there's a there's a point where you have to understandably be, well, not a sore loser. And he was very much being a sore loser here. Even if he wasn't aggressive towards them in person at first, he was still very much a sore loser. And honestly, you don't I can't sympathize with him in that. It just felt like he was being a baby about it. Um, and Marinette, honestly, she went into this and tried to win for maybe the wrong reasons, maybe for selfish reasons and all, but honestly, she had nothing to apologize for because she entered the tournament no matter what her reasons for doing so. She entered it and she won. She earned her spot. No matter if her reasons for it were selfish because of her desire to play alongside Adrian, that doesn't matter. The fact is she earned that spot. Handing it over to him at the end, I mean, it's a nice thing to do. It's a nice gesture. But the episode was acting as if she stole this spot from him um unfairly or unjustly when she didn't. So it's just like that entire motivation for everything with the episode just really threw me off, to be honest. Um then we had Reflecta. So in this was honestly probably my favorite of these episodes and one of my favorite of the season for sure. Reflecta, we have this nice girl. I can't think of her name. It's really unique and pretty. I just can't think of it at the moment because there was a lot of information in these episodes. um, but this nice kind of emo dressing girl, really cool style. Love her hair. Love her outfit. Um, she has this problem where every time she tries to take a picture or get a picture taken or whatever, something always happens that messes with the picture, specifically involving her. So it's kind of viewed as this jinx or this curse um, whenever she gets a picture. And on top of it, no one seems to really pay much mind toward her. She seems like she's kind of this fly on the wall almost, where it's like she's always around, she's always there, always like being part of it, but not actually noticed by a lot of people, not like really focused on. Everybody like notices everyone else, but she's just kind of there. And it's like they don't even remember her name or anything. She's a wallflower. It's like the character from the Equestria Girls series, Wallflower Blush, who that was kind of her big thing too. It's actually very similar. But anyway, she gets akumatized and becomes Reflecta. And in order to go with the entire thing about not being able to be noticed by people, she turns everyone into her. So it's like, yeah, you'll notice. This one was very fun, and I liked the message. I liked the characters. I connected to it because I've always been kind of a wallflower myself. Like I had friends in school and stuff, but for the most part, I just kind of stayed in the back. No one paid much attention to me. I would always sit alone at lunch, and no one would just even like pay much attention. No one ever came up and talked to me. No one ever yada yada. Like even there's even points where I had been like bumped into in the halls and stuff. And they not only just didn't apologize, they just didn't even seem to notice. And it's like, so I understand. I understand this concept. And I empathized with her. Not to mention, it just felt more properly written. Everything felt more well put together than the Gamer episode before. Episode 24 was The Puppeteer, and this one focused on Monet, I think her name was, or something like that. Or Minot? Minot, that was it. Minot, this young girl, like she's got to be like, what, 4 years old, that Marinette babysits. This reporter woman is the mother as well. So Minot plays with these dolls of Ladybug and Cat Noir and the villains with Marinette, but she's upset that she always ends up being the villains and always loses. So she asks if she can borrow the Marinette doll and or the Ladybug doll, and Marinette's like, yeah, okay. But the mother is like, no, no, she has enough toys at home. She doesn't need to borrow this one, and so she throws a fit. And this girl, again, she's like 4 years old, so you've got to understand her perspective here. She doesn't understand right and wrong as much, and she doesn't understand being told no as much. She's 4 years old. So you got to understand. But at the same time, you also understand that the mother is, you understand her point of view too. So it's like, yeah. Um, but the girl ends up convincing Marinette to let her borrow one of the dolls. And just she is eventually akumatized into the puppeteer, where she can use the dolls to control people. And if that person is not currently in the form of the what the doll is, like in the case of Alia and Lady Wi-Fi, it forces them into that form with all the powers, which is really interesting. Um, a really cool power set for Puppeteer. Um, she ends up being defeated, though. This episode was really fun. I really liked it. I really like how Minot was treated as a little girl. She's a little girl. She's young. She's impressionable. She's emotional. Yeah, and she felt that way. It felt like this honestly was one of the most honest portrayals I feel of a little girl in a lot of animation and a lot of shows, period. So many shows try to paint these young kids as being so smart and so um, capable in so many situations, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I've watched over kids in like church and stuff before, and yeah, kids can be a lot more observant and smart than a lot of people give them credit for. But when they're this young, it's like, yeah, they're gonna act like this. So it's like I really feel like this was a very honest, very believable portrayal. Um, Episode 25 was Anti-Bug, and this one, like I said, felt overall like his season finale. The fact that Chloe's getting akumatized is a big deal because Chloe's been an ongoing antagonist the entire time. Not a villain, but an antagonist to Marinette, Alia, kind of Adrian, but less so, just because she has such a thing for him. But yeah, she's been this classroom bully who's just been a pain in everyone's neck. And so to finally see her get akumatized, it's like, yeah, we were waiting for this. But first, we see that Sabrina has become akumatized, and this is what leads to Chloe being akumatized as well. Sabrina becomes Vanisher, this invisible, it's basically just an invisible girl. She's completely messing with and not really torturing, but just completely fucking with Chloe because was a bitch to her, because Chloe's always a bitch to her and everyone else. Um, so she's completely fucking with Chloe, and in the end, they do end up stopping her. But the thing is, as it's pointed out, Chloe was right in how to handle it and where the miraculous or where the Akuma would be rather. And Marinette was wrong in not trusting her just because it's Chloe. Which they do make a point of. They do acknowledge that. And so then Chloe ends up becoming upset anyways. And she ends up getting akumatized into Antibug, who has all the same powers and abilities and whatnot as Ladybug. She's just literally an antithesis to her. Um, so they end up having their little scuffle, and in the end, of course, Ladybug and Cat Noir win. What really made this feel like finale again was the fact that it was Chloe who was transformed. The fact that the villain was Anti-Bug, a villain that is literally by every means the antithesis to Ladybug. This felt like a season finale because of that. Um, but then we get to the actual season finale, at least according to how Netflix has it sorted out. Volpina. This one has a lot of big stuff in it, and that helps it feel more season finale like. But the rest of it in general didn't feel as much so, to me at least. So Adrian discovers this book in his father's safe that has information about all these different superheroes. Uh, he ends up losing it. It gets stolen from him by this girl he likes while they're hanging out together. She steals it and in it finds this necklace that belongs to a fox superhero named Volpina. Now, Hawkmoth transforms her into Volpina by akumatizing her at this point. And this is where I had the big question of the episode. Did he realize that came from the book, or did he not know that the Miraculous was in the book? If the necklace even is a Miraculous, I assume it is, though we never see it actually transform her normally. Because the only time we ever see her transformed is because of Hawkmoth. I assume it is because I swear, like when we saw the box before, the Miraculous box, I swear that was one of them. Um, it had to have been, right? But either way. Um, so Volpina has this illusion-based power, which is pretty interesting. And as a hero, she would become very useful with that. Um, but in the end, after being saved, Lila, I think it is, doesn't. She's not redeemed. Like Chloe wasn't redeemed either, but Lila isn't redeemed, and she actually vows to get back at her. And even Hawkmoth says, "Oh, Volpina will be back." But the big moment of the episode, for me at least, was definitely the ending. So Marinette and Tiki had gotten their hands on the book at this point. Tiki knows everything about it. It's like, oh, this is the book that tells all about the superheroes and the Miraculouses and all that. And it's like, it's finally time for you to meet the Guardian. Um, and so Tiki takes Marinette to meet the old man. And it's like she had met him before, technically, but she didn't know who he was at that point. So, yeah, this is big. This is big. This is a big deal. Um, so season two is going to start with some really big stuff for sure. But, but as with every series, I do take breaks between seasons just to not like oversaturate things with the same series for too long on the channel. I want to make it so that we can continue to keep things fresh and everything. So, that being said, we will be taking a break before we go into season two. We'll watch some other shows and stuff first. And that gets into what is going to replace Miraculous. Since this was the end of season one, we do need something else to take its place in the schedule for now. And so we're just going to continue right down the list of donation rewards. And the next donation reward on the list is a reward for Matthew Vasquez. It is an anime series called Dororo. I don't know anything about this. I think I've seen. Okay, well, I won't say don't know anything because I think I've seen like maybe the opening and maybe a couple like screenshots here, and I think it has something maybe to do with samurai or something. I think maybe. But outside of that, I don't know much of anything about it. I don't know like what the story's about, what the character's about, like really what the animation altogether will be about, or will be like rather. So we're going into that mostly completely blind. I'm hoping to enjoy it though, because I've been checking out some other anime shows lately, and I've been really enjoying them. Like I checked out Dorohedoro, I checked out, I've been currently checking out The Great Pretender. I checked out Given. So I've been the anime I've been checking out lately on my own time has been good. I've been very much enjoying, especially Dorohedoro. Um, but I'm really excited to see more of that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping Dororo is good. Um, I'm hoping to enjoy it. But yeah, that is next on the list for donation reward series. As always, movies and stuff will come when I get to them, basically, and we'll kind of go from there. Um, but yeah, either way, I will change the channel banner and everything as quick as I can after this is posted. But yeah, tell me your thoughts down in the comments below on these episodes. There were so many here. Tell me your thoughts. And once again, we will get back to Miraculous with season 2 down the line. Either way, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See you all next time.